Welcome back to a special episode of the Global Trade Show. I'm your host, Lawrence Christoffelsz, and today I've got the absolute pleasure to be joined by Sue Dight, who's the Regional Director here at Mission to Seafarers for Australia and Papua New Guinea. Sue, thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Thanks, Lawrence. Lovely to meet you again.
Likewise. So, Mission to Seafarers is dear to our heart. We run a lot of events here, as you know, with the Australian Trade Logistics Corporation, but I really want to expand and tell the audience about the story from behind Mission to Seafarers. So let's start with how it all came about.
Well, a little child said to his father, well, how did the sailors go to church in the Bristol Channel? And that was in 1856. In 1856, John Ashley decided he was going to go and take church to the seafarers. Very religious culture back there, very superstitious lot seafarers are. And they required that guidance. Kept them out of bars, kept them out of places of ill repute, and the mission was formed in that way. It very quickly came to Melbourne, and this organisation, Mission to Seafarers Victoria, actually started in 1857. It's been, this building that we're in at the moment has actually been here since World War I, but the mission had multiple locations around Port Phillip Bay, from the very beginning, from Williamstown, Port Melbourne, a couple of beautiful buildings, and now this one here on Australia Wharf.
Yeah, wonderful, Sue. And you mentioned as well, just off camera, about even before the building, there was some vessels put in port just as a starting point. Was that right?
Correct. William Kerr, Reverend Kerr, actually got an old hulk, a transportation hulk from when the convicts used to come out here, and he set up his own seamen's church in the middle of Port Phillip Bay. And he used to go out on a little tender and go and visit the ships. They'd put up a flag if they were holding church services, and that church flag would then say, come to our ship and join us.
Fantastic. And, you know, it's still a very active part of maritime industry today, right, in this building itself. Let's talk about a bit of that.
So the maritime activities that we do now, we go and collect the seafarers from their ships in our buses via our volunteer crew, or we go and ship visit and go and see the seafarers in their workplaces. And we care for them in a way that they don't get through their companies, through just being involved with any other organisation. And it's about that loving care that we can provide them, and foreign currency exchange, and a bus trip to somewhere, and an opportunity to phone home. You can see over there, there's the old letterbox where we used to help them actually write their letters to send home. Then it became all about the phone box and giving them access to a phone line. Now it's all about Wi-Fi and digital access. And so the amount of Wi-Fi that we churn through and data we churn through is testimony to how many seafarers we actually see.
Yeah, and I've spoken to many of them here, and they love it. They feel so welcomed, and they get to talk with other people from Melbourne itself and other seafarers who might be here at the same time. So it's a great community way of keeping up, as we all know, mental health and making sure that they're really supported and actually get to communicate outside of their core group on the boat.
Correct. Imagine having breakfast, lunch and dinner with the same people for 9 months on end, and not being able to step ashore, being able to actually touch grass, being able to go shopping for your own personal items, things that you want, just not what's in the store.
Well, there's so many great things about the mission. You've got the beautiful chapel, which is stunning, and that's obviously 1857. Was that built at the same time?
This one was built during World War I, so 1917.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Spanish mission style.
Yeah.
There was a former building just down the road here that was commandeered by the port authorities. And then also we had places in Williamstown where things like that beautiful organ came from. Yeah. It's now a tattoo parlour.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Great. And we've got the dome here in Melbourne as well. That's a unique little iconic piece. So many people have told me they've driven past, they're curious, they don't know what it is, but it's got amazing acoustics as well.
It does. But the building was built and designed by Walter Butler for the mind, the body and the spirit. So we have the chapel for the spirit. We have the mind where there was the reading rooms, recreation rooms, billiards rooms, places to actually sit and relax, and then the dome. And the dome was built as a gymnasium.
Really?
So if you look up, there's hooks in the ceiling where they used to practice climbing ropes because it was built in the days of sail and steam.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So they needed a place to take care of their full body,
Yeah.
their place here. And seafarers used to be able to stay in port for weeks on end. These days, they're lucky if they get an 8-hour turnaround.
Yeah. Such high productivity and a lot of pressure to get back out in the water.
Exactly. Port fees are expensive and being in port costs money. So the further they're out at sea or sitting at anchorage where they don't have access to services, they don't have access to shore leave, which is a huge problem around the world. Shore leave is the one thing that can connect them back to their land and back to people.
Yeah.
And not just their families.
No, that's right. Just a community in general. So, Sue, we're in the beautiful Melbourne Mission to Seafarers here in Victoria. What about the other ones around the country and Papua New Guinea? Let's talk a bit about those.
So we have 28 centres around Australia. Not all of them are gorgeous heritage listed buildings like this one. In fact, in Devonport, it's just a donga, a shed on the wharf. And there's other places where it's someone's office. So we go and collect the seafarers from their ships. We take them back to one of the corporate offices, but it's a recreation space. There's little cars they can play with, there's games, there's the opportunity to go to the shops, but connect with Wi-Fi and talk to someone other than their regular crew. We do this in a way that provides not just that connection, but the opportunity for them to talk about their mental health issues, their family. I've sat through many kids' birthday parties on Zoom.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Reassuring wives that they're okay, they're safe here in our country. It's also an opportunity for seafarers to get medical advice.
Right. Yeah.
We take them to their doctor's appointments. If there's a problem and they've had an accident on board, we will sit with them in their hospital bed, making sure that they have that reassurance that someone's there for them.
Red light, we pause unsure. Green light, we run, but what for? In trade, each move feels like a bet. One wrong turn, you're not there yet. But then a door opens, a voice cuts through. Not competition, but something new. We learn, we lead, we trade with speed. Not just to win, but to grow what we need. Smarter together, bold under pressure. This is the game and we play it better.
It's lovely. I think it's we've spoken about this a few times, but the mission is such an important role that it plays for these unsung heroes of global business and global trade. Without them, literally global economies grind to a halt.
Correct. There's no coffee, there's no cars, there's no Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're hashtags that we use all the time because without seafarers, and there's on average 22 people on board those ships.
Wow.
22 people that are with thousands, hundreds of thousands, I can't remember the stat, of ship movements across this country every year. There's 22 ship movements a day in Port Hedland. We see over 80,000 seafarers coming to our centre each year.
Amazing work, yeah.
We're transporting so many of them. Last year we were involved in over 100 justice and welfare cases, whether the seafarer wasn't being paid properly, whether or not there was enough food on board, water, access to shore leave. We get involved in those cases and they can contact us through our app or directly via our media channels, and it's an opportunity for them to say, can you help us?
Yeah.
And we do.
It's an amazing work that you and the team do, and as you said before, many of them are volunteers, right?
Over 80% of our team is volunteers.
Wow, yeah.
We only have 9 paid chaplains around the country, and the rest are lay chaplains or volunteers. Our ship visiting teams are anyone that has an interest in caring for seafarers. We do that. We can't do it at Anchorage, like they do in Hong Kong, because we are part of that global network. In Hong Kong, they literally have a boat, their own boat. They go out to the seafarers and visit them on their ships.
Wow.
Here in Australia, we can't do that, but we do actually have to pick up seafarers in Port Hedland, shipside.
Yeah.
So they put out their flag, yes, we'd like to come ashore, and we go and pick them up in a ferry that's loaned to us.
That's amazing. And you touched on the global network. Can we expand on that for the audience as well, about how big that global network is?
So we're in 50 countries, in over 200 cities and 200 ports around the world. And we've been doing that and growing and expanding our network for a number of years because there is more need. Here in Australia, we should be in over 50 ports. There are over 50 ports in Australia that receive over 50 ships a year. Now, for some that's only one a week, but that's still one crew that may not get shore leave. Yeah. The authorities here are very good. They put out marine orders which ensure that seafarers are allowed to have shore leave, and that's not the same globally. So if you've done a journey as a seafarer through the Malacca Straits, which is very intense with piracy at the moment, and you just want a little bit of respite to come ashore, and we don't have a centre, then there's no opportunity.
Yeah. Well, especially here in Australia, we are so far removed from all the other continents and land masses that it's a bloody long journey. So to get off the boat, as you say, to get some land legs again, it would be amazing. And it has to be so embraced by the seafarers themselves, I'm sure.
Definitely. There's a pier in Queensland. It's a sugar pier. So sugar deliveries come in and out via that pier, or out basically. The pier is 4.7 kilometres long.
Wow, that's great.
The seafarers can't walk that far.
You need it.
And then there's no town to walk to. Wow. So without our services, how are these guys doing anything other than just sitting on their ships, absolutely bored out of their minds?
Yeah, and we had I know all of us as individuals probably had a small taste of that isolation during COVID, but as you say, these seafarers, that's their job. Their whole role is basically amongst a small group of people that I'm sure would be stressful, and you're missing your family, missing all those iconic events like birthdays and all the other family celebrations.
Mm-hmm. And the amount of work and pressure is only growing. Fatigue is a major problem for seafarers these days. The decarbonisation that's going on around ESG, around ensuring that shipping is now not a polluting industry, that is causing huge stresses because ships come in all different shapes and sizes, and seafarers don't specialise, which means they then have to learn all about each individual ship. They have to learn about the different fuels. They have to learn about all of these things, all while trying to maintain a 6 on, 6 off shift, which means that they're 6 hours on, 6 hours off, 6 hours on, 6 hours off. How do you get any sleep with that and do learning and training when you're trying to do it on a very narrow bandwidth? Yeah. So we're advocating for seafarers and looking at how their fatigue cycles are a huge problem for the industry.
Well, I love talking to you and Neil here at the team as well in Victoria. I think you do such amazing work, and it is really, unsung heroes like yourselves who help the global trade keep chugging along, and especially all of us in Australia, as I mentioned, we rely so heavily on product coming in from overseas and going out, but without that, everything stops. So congratulations to the work you do here as a regional level. I know the team here in Victoria do incredible work as well, and globally. All of you who are watching on Import Export TV, you're obviously watching for some sort of global trade reason. So I encourage you to get along to all the missions around Australia and Papua New Guinea, and if you can support them, come along. You've got an amazing memorabilia. All of you involved with shipping or global trade would find it interesting. I love it, and I'm sure everyone who I've seen coming to this building, they love this building, and they love just learning little things about global business and the maritime history that is around Australia and around the world.
Thanks very much, Lawrence. And if you want to get involved, talk to us about our Ports to Peak fundraiser. Everyone should be involved. If you're involved in any sort of trade, it's an opportunity to support all of the seafarer centres, not just here in Australia and Papua New Guinea, but also across Oceania, as well as we're doing it as a joint opportunity to run up Mount Kosciuszko and raise some funds for the Mission to Seafarers. We're a not-for-profit charity that has been running for such a long time without government support.
Well, everyone, you heard what Sue said, get along. You know, there's a lot of people in the industry who made some great careers and great money out of maritime. So time to give back, time to support the missions, and you know, let's make it a better life for the seafarers and help them as well. So thank you so much, Sue, for taking the time to speak with us on the channel, and look forward to staying in touch and seeing more and more of the great work you and the team do.
Terrific. Thanks, Lawrence.
Okay, thanks, Sue.